Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Confident Speaking Podcast. I'm Sophia, your host, and I'm thrilled to be guiding you on another English fluency journey. For those new to the channel, we dedicate ourselves to daily English lessons designed to build your confidence and skills step by step. We focus on practical, real world English, making your learning relevant and applicable to your daily life. Today's masterclass is all about taking your B1 and B2 English to the next level. We'll be sharpening not only your listening comprehension, but also your speaking and critical thinking abilities. We'll dive into real life scenarios and conversations, equipping you with the vocabulary and sentence structures to navigate them effortlessly. Think of this as your personal fluency booster shot. Throughout this session, we'll be tackling practical conversations, the kind you'd encounter in everyday situations. We'll focus on expanding on simple answers to create more natural sounding, detailed responses. We'll also explore useful vocabulary and natural sentence patterns you can immediately integrate into your speech. We'll do this through interactive exercises, repetition, shadowing, and ample opportunities for you to internalize these phrases until they become second nature. Whether you're describing your day, making weekend plans, asking for directions in a new city, or even debating your favorite movie, this masterclass will equip you with the confidence to express yourself clearly and effectively. Before we get started, remember to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you won't miss out on any future lessons that will accelerate your English learning progress. Take a deep breath, relax, and let's begin our fluency building adventure. Now, let's focus on the core concept: expanding your answers. At the intermediate level, the challenge isn't just knowing individual words, it's connecting them fluidly into natural sounding sentences. You already possess a foundation. You can probably introduce yourself, order food, or ask for directions. But the goal now is to go beyond simple phrases and express yourself with nuance and detail. Let's start with a common scenario. Imagine you're chatting with a friend and they ask, "How's your morning been?" A beginner might respond with a simple, "Good" or "Fine." However, intermediate speakers can elaborate to create richer conversations. Instead of a curt, "Good, try. It's been fantastic. I woke up early, enjoyed a leisurely cup of coffee while reading a chapter of my book, and now I'm feeling energized and ready to tackle the day." Notice the difference? We've added detail, painting a more vivid picture of your morning. Let's practice. Repeat after me. It's been fantastic. I woke up early, enjoyed a leisurely cup of coffee while reading a chapter of my book, and now I'm feeling energized and ready to tackle the day. Now try connecting the words smoothly, adding a natural rhythm and intonation. Excellent. Now let's contrast that with a less than perfect morning. It's been a bit hectic, actually. My alarm didn't go off, so I had to rush to get ready, and I spilled coffee all over my shirt. Thankfully, I managed to catch the bus, but I'm still a little frazzled. Notice how this response conveys more emotion and details without resorting to complex grammar. Let's practice this too. Repeat after me. It's been a bit hectic, actually. My alarm didn't go off, so I had to rush to get ready, and I spilled coffee all over my shirt. Thankfully, I managed to catch the bus, but I'm still a little frazzled. Great job! See how easy it is to add depth to simple answers? Let's move on to another example. If someone asks, "What did you do yesterday?" A simple "I studied" is insufficient. A more fluent response would be, "Yesterday was quite productive." I spent a couple of hours studying English, focusing on improving my pronunciation. Afterward, I went for a relaxing walk in the park, taking in the fresh air and sunshine. In the evening, I cooked a delicious pasta dinner for my family and we had a lovely time together. Notice the descriptive language and the flow of the response. Let's practice this longer response. Yesterday was quite productive. I spent a couple of hours studying English, focusing on improving my pronunciation. Afterward, I went for a relaxing walk in the park, taking in the fresh air and sunshine. In the evening, I cooked a delicious pasta dinner for my family, and we had a lovely time together. Now it's your turn. Describe your yesterday using this expanded approach. Don't worry about perfection, just focus on building those longer, more detailed sentences. Excellent work. Finally, let's consider a cafe scenario. The waiter asks, "What would you like to drink?" Instead of a simple coffee, please, try, "I'd love a latte, please, with a splash of almond milk and a little cinnamon on top." Or, "I'll have an iced tea, please, unsweetened." See how adding these small details elevates your response? It shows your command of the language and your ability to express your preferences clearly and politely. Let's role play this. I'll be the waiter. What would you like to order? Remember to use descriptive language and add those little details to make your response sound more natural and fluent. Fantastic. You're doing great. Keep practicing and remember, fluency isn't about perfection. It's about confident and clear communication. Until next time. Okay, let's continue practicing. We left off with role playing. Remember, these aren't just games, they're powerful tools for immersing yourself in real life conversational scenarios. By engaging in these simulated interactions, your brain begins to internalize the natural flow and patterns of English. Think of it like muscle memory, but for your language skills. Let's try another one. Imagine you're at a cafe. I'll be the barista. What can I get for you? Now let's shift our focus to expressing opinions, a crucial skill at the B1 and B2 levels. It's not enough to simply answer yes or no or give one word responses like good. You need to articulate your thoughts fully. For instance, if someone asks, "What do you think about daily English practice?" A simple "it's good" lacks depth and fluency. Instead, try something like, "I find daily English practice incredibly beneficial. It helps me retain vocabulary, improves my fluency, and boosts my confidence when speaking." See the difference? We've added detail and reasoning. Let's practice this. I'll ask a question and you respond with a detailed opinion. What are your thoughts on using videos for English learning? A strong response might be, "I believe learning English through videos is highly effective because it allows me to listen to native speakers' pronunciation, practice my listening comprehension, and repeat phrases at my own pace." Furthermore, the visual element often enhances understanding. Excellent. Now, let's broaden this to your personal experiences. Think of something you enjoy daily: reading, cooking, jogging, anything. Now, construct a well developed opinion sentence about it. For example, instead of "I like reading," try, "I thoroughly enjoy reading historical fiction in the evenings because it transports me to different eras and allows me to unwind after a long day." Give it a try. Remember to articulate your thoughts fully and clearly. Moving on to another common everyday scenario: making plans. Instead of a simple nothing, which sounds very uninspired, let's craft more interesting replies. Imagine a friend asks, "What are you up to this weekend?" You could respond, "I don't have anything concrete planned yet, but I'm hoping to catch up with Sarah for brunch on Saturday and maybe go for a hike in the park on Sunday, weather permitting." See how much richer that response is? Let's practice that. Repeat after me. I don't have anything concrete planned yet, but I'm hoping to catch up with Sarah for brunch on Saturday and maybe go for a hike in the park on Sunday, weather permitting. Now let's try a different scenario. This weekend, I'm planning a trip to the beach with my family, and I also need to finish writing that report, so I'll be pretty busy. Practice saying both variations. Now, create your own weekend plan, incorporating phrases like I'm planning to, I might, or I'd like to. Finally, let's work on fluency. I'll give you short prompts and you expand them into full sentences, adding details. Prompt 1 Breakfast. Example response. For breakfast this morning, I had a delicious smoothie made with berries, banana, and almond milk. It's a quick and healthy way to start my day. Prompt 2 Weather. Example response. The weather is surprisingly chilly today, despite the forecast. I'm thinking I'll wear a sweater and long pants when I head out later. Prompt 3 Weekend plans. Example response. My weekend plans are quite exciting. On Saturday, I'm planning to go to the farmer's market and buy fresh produce. Later, I'd like to meet my friend at a new coffee shop downtown. On Sunday, I'm hoping to finish the book I started last week. This exercise helps you connect ideas, build more elaborate sentences, and improve your conversational fluency. Now let's move on to conversations when meeting new people. At the B1 and B2 level, introductions go beyond a simple, hello, my name is. Let's add some details. If someone asks, where are you from? Avoid just saying Brazil. Instead, try, I'm from Brazil, specifically from Rio de Janeiro, a vibrant coastal city known for its beaches and carnival. I've been living here all my life. Or, I'm originally from Brazil, but I've been living in New York City for the past 3 years. See how much more engaging those responses are? Let's practice these. Finally, when asked, what do you do? Avoid simplistic answers. Instead of, I'm a student, try, I'm a student at the University of California, Berkeley, majoring in environmental science. I'm particularly interested in sustainable agriculture. Or, instead of I work, try I work as a software engineer at a tech startup, developing mobile applications. It's a challenging but rewarding career. Practice these responses. The key is to add those little details that paint a more complete picture of who you are and what you do. This makes your English sound more natural and confident. Remember, consistent practice is key. Okay, now it's your turn to practice. We've learned some great techniques for introductions, and now we'll put them into action. Think about how you'd introduce yourself in a professional or social setting. Remember, a good introduction is more than just stating your name, origin, and profession. It's about creating a connection and leaving a positive impression. Let's break it down. First, your name. State it clearly and confidently. For example, instead of a mumbled, hi, I'm John, try a more assertive, hello, my name is John Smith. Notice the difference? The second version conveys more self assurance. Next, your origin. Don't just say, I'm from California. Add a little flavor. You could say, I'm from sunny Southern California near the beach. Or, I'm originally from a small town in rural Iowa, but I have lived in New York City for the past 5 years. These additions paint a picture and spark conversation. Now, what do you do? Instead of simply stating your job title, consider adding context. For example, instead of I'm a teacher, you could say I'm a high school English teacher, passionate about helping students discover the joy of reading. This shows enthusiasm and provides a clearer understanding of your role. Finally, add a personal touch. What are your hobbies? What are you passionate about? Maybe you enjoy hiking in the mountains, playing the guitar, or volunteering at an animal shelter. Sharing a detail about your personal life makes you more relatable and memorable. Or if you're still studying, mention where you attend school and your major. For instance, I'm currently a junior at UCLA, majoring in computer science, and I'm particularly interested in artificial intelligence. Now let's practice. I want you to craft your own introduction, incorporating all these elements. Say your name, where you're from, with a detail, your profession or studies with context, and a personal interest. Then let's practice saying it aloud. We'll work on your pronunciation and delivery, ensuring it flows naturally and confidently. Remember, the goal is not perfection, but progress. Each time you practice, you'll become more comfortable and fluent. This is how we build confidence for real life situations, making those intermediate level introductions feel natural and effortless. Okay, let's dive into conversations about hobbies and free time. This is a cornerstone of everyday English interaction. If someone asks, "What do you enjoy doing in your spare time?" a basic response might be, "I like reading." However, to demonstrate intermediate fluency, you need to expand on that. For example, you could say, "I enjoy losing myself in English novels, particularly mystery thrillers. I find them incredibly engaging, and they're a fantastic way to build my vocabulary. It's like a fun puzzle where I learn new words within a compelling narrative." Let's practice that. Repeat after me. I enjoy losing myself in English novels, particularly mystery thrillers. I find them incredibly engaging, and they're a fantastic way to build my vocabulary. It's like a fun puzzle where I learn new words within a compelling narrative. Excellent. Now try saying it again, focusing on clear pronunciation and natural intonation. Here's another example. In my free time, I'm passionate about experimenting with new recipes. I often invite my family over for a taste test. It's a great way to share my culinary creations and spend quality time together. Let's say it together. Remember to add expression to your voice, it makes a huge difference. Now, one more time, focusing on fluency and natural rhythm. Wonderful. Now, consider one of your own hobbies. Think about it for a moment. What makes it special? What are the specific details? Use descriptive words like especially, because, often, or frequently to add depth and richness to your description. Speak it out loud. Fantastic. That's great fluency practice. Let's make this more interactive with a role play. Imagine I'm your friend, Sarah. I ask, "What do you enjoy doing in your free time?" Besides studying English, of course. Answer me with a complete sentence providing detail and vivid descriptions. Excellent. Let's try again, this time focusing on a different hobby. Remember to use descriptive language. Wonderful. You're doing great. Now, let's move on to discussing past experiences. At the B1 and B2 levels, you should feel confident using the past tense to vividly describe your memories. For instance, if someone asks, "Have you ever traveled internationally?" you could respond, "Yes, I have. Last summer, I went to Turkey with my family. We explored Istanbul, and it was absolutely breathtaking. The vibrant culture, the delicious food, the historical sights, it was an unforgettable experience. The bustling Grand Bazaar was particularly exciting, a whirlwind of sights, sounds, and smells." Let's practice. Repeat after me. Yes, I have. Last summer, I went to Turkey with my family. We explored Istanbul, and it was absolutely breathtaking. The vibrant culture, the delicious food, the historical sites, it was an unforgettable experience. The bustling Grand Bazaar was particularly exciting, a whirlwind of sights, sounds, and smells. Excellent. Now, again, this time focusing on your own natural pacing. If your answer is no, you can still craft a fluent response. For example, you could say, "No, I haven't traveled internationally yet, but I'm really hoping to visit Japan someday. I'm fascinated by its rich history, its unique culture, and, of course, the amazing food." Let's practice this response. Remember to convey your enthusiasm. One more time, adding emphasis to the words that express your desire to visit. Now it's your turn. Think of a past experience, perhaps a memorable trip, a special celebration, or a fun outing with friends. Describe it using one or two complete sentences, including details about where, when, and why it was significant. Great job! Now let's shift our focus to conversations about the future. At the intermediate level, you should be able to articulate your plans and aspirations. For example, you could say, "Next year, I'm planning to take the TOEFL exam because I want to study abroad in Australia. I've always dreamed of experiencing life down under and immersing myself in Australian culture." Or you could say, "Tomorrow, I'm going to meet my friend, Emily, for lunch at that new Italian restaurant. And afterward, I'll go grocery shopping at Trader Joe's." Repeat after me. "Next year, I'm planning to take the TOEFL exam because I want to study abroad in Australia. I've always dreamed of experiencing life down under and immersing myself in Australian culture. And now, tomorrow, I'm going to meet my friend Emily for lunch at that new Italian restaurant. And afterward, I'll go grocery shopping at Trader Joe's." Let's practice some fluency drills. I'll give you a word, and you'll construct a future tense sentence using it. Ready? Word one, vacation. Word two, learn. Word three, volunteer. Excellent. You're successfully using future tense expressions like "I'm planning to," "I'm going to," and "I'll," which are essential for demonstrating intermediate fluency. Finally, let's touch upon small talk about the weather. A beginner might say, "It's hot," but an intermediate speaker would add more detail and descriptive language, saying something like, "It's scorching hot today. It's much hotter than yesterday. And I think this heat wave is going to last all week. I might even need to buy an ice cream maker." Let's practice. Repeat after me. "It's scorching hot today. It's much hotter than yesterday. And I think this heat wave is going to last all week. I might even need to buy an ice cream maker." Again, focusing on a natural conversational tone. Let's try a different scenario. "It's quite chilly this morning, and it looks like it might rain later, so I brought my umbrella just in case." Say it with me. Again, paying attention to your pronunciation. Now it's your turn. Look out your window. What's the weather like today? Describe it using rich detail and comparisons. Excellent. Using precise details and comparisons elevates your English from basic to fluent. Let's move on to combining the topics we've covered. Okay, class, let's continue practicing our English conversation skills. We've been working on tenses, and now we'll build upon that foundation by focusing on fluency and detail. Remember, at the B1 and B2 levels, it's not just what you say, but how you say it that matters. First, a quick review of tense usage. Let's try these questions. 1. What are your plans for tomorrow? Don't just say, "Go to the store." Tell me why you're going, who you're going with, what you plan to buy. Paint a picture with your words. For example, instead of saying, I'm going to the park, you might say, tomorrow, I'm planning a picnic in the park with Sarah and her kids. We're going to fly kites, play frisbee, and I'm hoping to finally finish reading that book I've been meaning to get through. See how much richer the description is? 2. What did you do last weekend? This time, use the past tense. Again, add details. Instead of I went to a movie, try last weekend, I finally saw that new superhero movie everyone's been talking about. It was action packed with some surprisingly funny moments. Afterwards, we grabbed pizza at that new place downtown. The pepperoni was amazing. 3. What do you enjoy doing in your free time? Tell me about your hobby and why you love it. Instead of just, I like to read, explain, in my free time, I love to lose myself in fantasy novels. I find it incredibly relaxing to escape into another world, and I'm always fascinated by the intricate storytelling and world building. The explanation makes it so much more engaging. Now let's move on to a crucial skill at the intermediate level, talking about family and relationships. This comes up constantly in casual conversation. At B1 and B2, you should be comfortable providing details, sharing anecdotes, and explaining family dynamics effortlessly. Let's say someone asks, do you have any siblings? A basic answer is, yes, I have a brother. But a more detailed response could be, yes, I have an older brother named Alex. He's a software engineer working in Silicon Valley, and surprisingly, he's a talented musician in his free time. He plays the guitar in a band, and they're even recording an album now. See the difference? We've added detail, personality, and context. Let's practice a few examples. Example 1. I have a younger sister, Chloe. She's a college student studying marine biology, and she's passionate about ocean conservation. She spends her summers volunteering with sea turtle rescue programs. Example 2. I have two older cousins, Maria and David. Maria is a doctor and lives in London, while David's a chef who owns his own restaurant in New Orleans. They are quite opposite in their professions, but they're still very close. Your turn. Describe a family member with specific details. What do they do? What are their hobbies? Where do they live? Let's hear it. Now, let's role play. Imagine I'm a new acquaintance asking about your family. Answer with a few sentences, including names, occupations, and hobbies. Let's make this conversation as realistic as possible. Next, let's discuss daily routines. At B1 and B2, you should be able to describe not only what you do, but also how you feel about it, and maybe even compare routines or offer reasons. For example, instead of, I get up and go to work, you could say, on weekdays, I usually wake up around 6:30 a.m. I'm not a morning person, so I rely on a strong cup of coffee to get going. After a quick breakfast, I head to the office. Although my commute can be stressful sometimes, particularly during rush hour, the feeling of accomplishment I get at the end of the day makes it worthwhile. Let's practice. Example 1. Every morning I have a quick workout. Even though it's early, it boosts my energy for the whole day and helps me feel more focused at work. Example 2. In the evenings, I usually unwind by reading a book or watching a movie. It's the perfect way to de stress and recharge before bed. It's your turn. Describe one part of your daily routine with detail and emotion. Finally, let's practice incorporating names into our conversations. Let's pretend you're talking to a friend, Emily. She asks, what's a typical day like for you? You could respond, well, Emily, a typical day starts with me getting ready for my class, then I head to the campus for my morning lectures. Afternoons are reserved for group projects and research. In the evenings, I often grab dinner with friends before heading back to my apartment to study. It's a pretty busy schedule, but it's rewarding. Now, let's practice some more. We'll work on describing your city or town. Try describing a place that you love. Remember, the key is to add details, use vivid language, and make your descriptions come alive. The more detail you provide, the more engaging and natural your conversation will sound. Let's work on making our conversations flow more naturally, enriching our interactions with others, okay? Let's enhance this lesson on conversational English. We've talked about knowing your community. You mentioned liking the mountains near your town and how people know each other well. That's great. Now let's delve a little deeper. Think about your city or town, not just in a sentence or two, but try to paint a picture with words. What are the unique characteristics? What sights, sounds, and smells define it? For example, I could say, my hometown is nestled in a valley, surrounded by rolling hills dotted with vineyards. The air is often filled with the scent of ripening grapes, especially in autumn, and the weekends are alive with the sounds of farmers markets and families enjoying picnics. Now it's your turn. Give me a more detailed description of your place. Let's make this interactive with a role play. Imagine you're meeting Sarah, a new acquaintance at a coffee shop, and she asks, "Where are you from?" Instead of a simple answer, let's craft a response that gives her a taste of what your hometown is like. Remember to include details that showcase your personality and connection to your community. Excellent. Now let's move on to a universally loved topic, food. At the B1 and B2 levels, you should be able to describe your favorite foods with flair, explaining their preparation and sharing your eating habits. For instance, instead of just saying, I like pizza, try something like, my absolute favorite food is a Neapolitan pizza. With its thin, crispy crust, perfectly balanced tomato sauce, fresh mozzarella, and a sprinkle of basil. I love making it at home with my family on Friday nights. It's a tradition for us. Notice how this adds detail, making the description more vivid and engaging. Let's practice. Repeat after me. My absolute favorite food is a Neapolitan pizza with its thin, crispy crust, perfectly balanced tomato sauce, fresh mozzarella, and a sprinkle of basil. I love making it at home with my family on Friday nights. It's a tradition for us. Great. Now, let's try another example. I'm a huge fan of pad thai. I love the combination of sweet, sour, and savory flavors, the perfectly cooked rice noodles, and the crunchy peanuts. I usually order it from a Thai restaurant downtown on Tuesday nights. Their peanut sauce is amazing. Repeat this sentence. Now it's your turn. Describe your favorite dish with similar detail. Think about the ingredients, the preparation, and when you typically enjoy it. Wonderful. Now, let's role play. Imagine you're having lunch with Mark, a coworker, and he asks, "What's your favorite food?" Use what you've practiced or create your own detailed response. Excellent. Let's do it again. What's your favorite food? Perfect. This level of detail transforms simple answers into engaging conversations. Let's now connect food with culture and habits. Instead of simply saying, I eat dinner with my family, let's add richness. In my family, we have a tradition of eating dinner together every Sunday evening. We usually make it a big, multi course meal with everyone contributing a dish, and it's a time for us to reconnect and share our week's experiences. Last Sunday, my sister made her famous lasagna, and my brother brought a delicious apple pie for dessert. Repeat after me. In my family, we have a tradition of eating dinner together every Sunday evening. We usually make it a big multi course meal with everyone contributing a dish, and it's a time for us to reconnect and share our week's experiences. Last Sunday, my sister made her famous lasagna, and my brother brought a delicious apple pie for dessert. Try another example. On weekends, I like exploring different ethnic restaurants. Last Saturday, my friend and I ventured to a new Ethiopian restaurant, and the food was incredibly flavorful and unlike anything we'd ever tried before. Practice saying that with me. Let's do a fluency drill. I'll give you a word, and you'll create a sentence about food using it. Ready? Word one, brunch. Word two, recipe. Word three, grocery shopping. Excellent. These exercises build speed and confidence. Let's transition to conversations about shopping, another common situation. At B1 and B2 levels, you should be able to ask for specific items, compare products, and express preferences. Imagine you're in a department store and a sales associate asks, "May I help you find something today?" Instead of, "Yes, a shirt," try, "Yes, I'm looking for a stylish, lightweight linen shirt for the summer." Something in a pale blue or beige, size medium, would be perfect. Do you have anything similar? Repeat after me. Now, let's try a different example. I'm looking for a pair of hiking boots, something durable and waterproof, for my upcoming trip to the mountains. Do you have any recommendations? Great! Now let's role play. The sales associate, whose name is Jessica, asks, "What are you looking for today?" Use one of the phrases we've practiced or create your own detailed response. Excellent. Let's do it again. What are you looking for today? Perfect. At the intermediate level, comparing items is crucial. Instead of "this is cheaper," say, "This pair of shoes is significantly cheaper than that one, but I'm wondering if the quality difference justifies the price increase." Practice these comparisons. This level of detail will make your conversations flow much more smoothly. Remember, practice makes perfect. One pair of shoes is cheaper, but the other pair seems to be of superior quality. This presents a classic decision making scenario in everyday life, requiring us to weigh cost against quality. Now, let's practice some practical English phrases. Imagine you're at the checkout and the cashier, a friendly young man named David, asks, "Do you need a bag?" You could politely reply, "Yes, please, I'd like a bag," emphasizing the please for added politeness. Alternatively, you could say, "No, thank you. I brought my own bag," showcasing environmental awareness and resourcefulness. Let's practice both responses. "Yes, please. I'd like a bag." Again, "Yes, please. I'd like a bag." Now let's try the other one. "No, thank you. I brought my own bag." And again, "No, thank you. I brought my own bag." These simple exchanges build your confidence in handling everyday shopping interactions and expressing your needs clearly. Moving on to transportation. Let's explore conversations relevant to navigating public transit and taxis. Imagine you're at a bus stop and a fellow passenger, Michael, asks, "Do you know when the next bus is arriving?" A simple answer would be, "In about 10 minutes." However, a more fluent and nuanced response might be, "I think the next bus should arrive in about 10 minutes, but sometimes it runs a little late, especially during rush hour." Notice the added detail and contextual information. Let's repeat this together. "I think the next bus should arrive in about 10 minutes, but sometimes it runs a little late, especially during rush hour." Excellent. One more time. "I think the next bus should arrive in about 10 minutes, but sometimes it runs a little late, especially during rush hour." Now, picture yourself in a taxi. The driver asks, "Where to?" Instead of simply saying "downtown," try providing more specific directions. For instance, you could say, "I'd like to go downtown, near Main Street, close to the library, please. The added detail helps the driver understand your destination more precisely. Let's practice. I'd like to go downtown, near Main Street, close to the library, please. Again, I'd like to go downtown, near Main Street, close to the library, please. Now, let's role play. I'll be the taxi driver. Where would you like to go? Pause for student response. Excellent. Let's do it one more time. Where would you like to go? Pause for student response. Wonderful. Giving and receiving directions are essential aspects of everyday life. For example, you could say, go straight for 2 blocks, then turn right at the traffic light. The bank will be on your left. Alternatively, you could say, walk down this street until you reach the park, and then you'll see the bus station right next to it. Let's practice these directional phrases. Go straight for 2 blocks, then turn right at the traffic light. The bank will be on your left. Again, go straight for 2 blocks, then turn right at the traffic light. The bank will be on your left. Now, the other one. Walk down this street until you reach the park, and then you'll see the bus station right next to it. And one more time. Walk down this street until you reach the park, and then you'll see the bus station right next to it. Mastering these practical phrases significantly enhances your conversational English and makes you more confident in everyday situations. Remember, clear communication is key to navigating daily life smoothly. Okay, let's enhance our English conversation skills. We'll focus on practical scenarios, building your confidence in everyday interactions. Phone calls, doctor's appointments, and workplace communication are key areas we'll cover. Part 1, Mastering Phone Calls. First, let's tackle phone conversations. These can be tricky because you rely solely on audio cues. At an intermediate level, you need smooth greetings, clear requests, and polished politeness. Let's role play. You're calling your friend Sarah. A natural opening might be, hi, Sarah, it's Emily. How's your day going? Notice the friendly tone. Let's practice that again. Hi, Sarah, it's Emily. How's your day going? Excellent. Now imagine calling the Bright Star Company. The receptionist answers, good morning, Bright Star Company. How can I help you? A professional response would be, good morning. My name is Emily, and I'd like to speak with Mr. Jones, please. Let's try it together. Good morning. My name is Emily, and I'd like to speak with Mr. Jones, please. Perfect. What if Mr. Jones isn't available? The receptionist might say, I'm sorry, he's in a meeting. May I take a message? Your reply should be concise and helpful. Yes, please tell him Emily called regarding the Peterson account and to call me back at 555-12-2. Let's practice that. Yes, please tell him Emily called regarding the Peterson account and to call me back at 555-12-2. Notice how providing context, the Peterson account, makes your message more effective. Remember, clear communication and polite phrasing are crucial in phone conversations. Part 2, Navigating the doctor's office. Next, let's practice conversations at the doctor's office. This involves describing your symptoms clearly and concisely. Suppose you're seeing Dr. Lee and Nurse Jessica asks, what seems to be the problem today? Instead of a simple headache, try a more detailed response. I've had a throbbing headache since yesterday morning, and it's gotten worse despite taking ibuprofen. Let's rehearse that. I've had a throbbing headache since yesterday morning, and it's gotten worse despite taking ibuprofen. Adding details like throbbing and specifying the pain reliever helps the doctor understand your condition better. Another example, I've been coughing incessantly for 3 days and I feel incredibly fatigued. I also have a slight fever. Practice this one. I've been coughing incessantly for 3 days and I feel incredibly fatigued. I also have a slight fever. The use of words like incessantly and incredibly adds emphasis and precision. If Dr. Lee asks, how long have you been experiencing these symptoms? Your answer could be, I've been feeling this way for about 3 days, and the symptoms seem to worsen at night. Let's practice that. I've been feeling this way for about 3 days, and the symptoms seem to worsen at night. Scheduling an appointment. If the receptionist says, when would you like to come in? You could respond with, I'd prefer an appointment sometime next week, ideally Tuesday afternoon if that's available. Or, I'd like to schedule an appointment for Friday morning if possible. Practice both options to build fluency. Part 3. Workplace conversations. Finally, let's work on workplace interactions. At an intermediate level, you should be able to discuss your tasks, explain your progress, and ask for help professionally. Imagine your colleague Mark asks, how's the marketing proposal coming along? Instead of a simple fine, aim for a more detailed response. It's progressing well, Mark. I've completed the initial research and drafted the executive summary. I'm currently working on the budget section and expect to finish the first draft by the end of the day. Let's practice. It's progressing well, Mark. I've completed the initial research and drafted the executive summary. I'm currently working on the budget section and expect to finish the first draft by the end of the day. If your manager, David, asks, can you submit the report by noon? Respond professionally. Yes, David, I can submit the report by noon. I'm just finalizing the data analysis now. Let's practice. Yes, David, I can submit the report by noon. I'm just finalizing the data analysis now. Need to ask for help? Instead of a vague request, be specific. Could you assist me with the data interpretation on the Peterson account? I'm struggling to understand the statistical analysis. Practice. Could you assist me with the data interpretation on the Peterson account? I'm struggling to understand the statistical analysis. Remember, clear and detailed communication is crucial in all these scenarios. Let's continue building your confidence in these key areas. Let's enhance your English communication skills, focusing on workplace, social, and travel contexts. We'll build confidence by practicing essential phrases and role-playing realistic scenarios. First, let's tackle workplace English. Remember, politeness is key. Using phrases like, could you, I caught, or would you mind, conveys professionalism and respect. For example, instead of saying, check my email, try, Sarah, would you mind taking a quick look at this email before I send it? I want to make sure everything looks okay. Notice the difference. It's much more courteous and collaborative. Let's practice this with a few more examples. Imagine you need to ask your colleague Mark for help with a spreadsheet. Instead of help me, you could say, Mark, could you possibly assist me with this spreadsheet? I'm having a little trouble with the formatting. Or if you need to reschedule a meeting with your boss, Mr. Jones, you might say, Mr. Jones, would it be possible to reschedule our meeting for tomorrow afternoon? I have an unexpected conflict this morning. See how these polite requests create a positive work environment? Now, let's move to lunch conversations. If Michael invites you to lunch, you could respond enthusiastically. Sure, Michael, I'd love to. Where are we headed? Or, more casually, thanks, Michael, but I packed my lunch today. I'll catch you later. Practice these responses. The key is to sound natural and friendly. Think of the tone of your voice as part of the practice, too. Workplace communication is not just about tasks, it's also about building relationships. Next, let's explore social English. At the B1 and B2 level, you should be able to smoothly invite, accept, and politely decline invitations. If Emily invites you to the movies, a natural response might be, "That sounds fantastic, Emily. What time were you thinking?" Or if you can't make it, a polite refusal could be, "Oh, I'd love to, Emily, but I already have plans that evening. Perhaps another time." Let's try some different scenarios. Imagine your friend David asks you to go to a concert. You could say, "That sounds awesome, Just. David, what time and where does it start?" Or, "Thanks for inviting me, David, but I won't be able to make it. How about we catch up for coffee next week instead?" The goal here is not only to learn phrases, but to understand how to express yourself clearly and confidently in different social contexts. Let's practice planning social events too. If your friend Lisa asks, "What are you up to this weekend?" You could say, "I'm thinking of going to the park on Saturday. Fancy joining me for a walk and coffee afterwards?" Or perhaps, "I'd love to check out that new Italian restaurant downtown. Are you free on Sunday evening?" These simple phrases allow for natural and engaging conversation. Finally, let's prepare for travel situations. At the airport, if a staff member, let's call her Jessica, asks for your documents, you would simply and politely respond, "Certainly, here's my passport and boarding pass." If you need assistance, use polite requests. For example, "Excuse me, could you direct me to gate 45?" Or, "Excuse me, could you tell me where I can find the restroom?" Similarly, at a hotel with a receptionist, Mark, the check in conversation might flow like this: "Mark, welcome. Do you have a reservation?" You, "Yes, I have a reservation under the name John Smith for 2 nights." If you need more towels, you can politely request, "Excuse me, could I please have some extra towels sent to my room?" Or, "The air conditioning is not working correctly. Could someone please come and take a look?" To wrap up, let's conduct a fluency drill combining workplace, social, and travel scenarios. Prompt 1, workplace. You need to ask your colleague, Anna, for feedback on a report. Prompt 2, social. You're planning a weekend getaway with a friend, Ben. Prompt 3, travel. You need to ask for directions at an unfamiliar train station. These quick drills will help you connect these topics smoothly and naturally in everyday conversations. Now, let's practice ordering food at a restaurant. Instead of just saying pizza, try, "Yes, I'd like a large pepperoni pizza, please." And a Coke, please. Remember, adding small details like specifying the pizza size or drink adds to the fluency and confidence. Fluent English isn't just about the words, it's about the flow, the confidence, and the polite interaction. Let's practice. Okay, class, let's continue practicing our English for everyday situations. We've covered greetings and ordering food, but now let's delve a bit deeper into restaurant scenarios and then move on to emergency situations. Remember our ordering practice? Let's review and expand on that. "I'd like a medium pepperoni pizza, please," is a perfectly acceptable order. But let's add some flair. You could say, "Excuse me, I'd like to order a medium pepperoni pizza, please. And could I also get a large iced tea with lemon if you have it?" Notice how adding a small detail, like the lemon, makes the request more personal and shows you're paying attention to the finer points of service. Now, let's say you're unsure of your order. Instead of just saying, "I'm still deciding, Jessica," which is fine, try something like, "Excuse me, Jessica, I'm still looking over the menu. Could you tell me a little more about today's special?" What kind of protein is it, and what are the side dishes? This shows engagement and allows you to make a more informed decision. Let's practice this with a partner. One of you will be the server, the other the customer. Remember to use clear and polite language. Let's role play a complete dining experience. I'll be the waiter, David. Can I get you something to drink while you look at the menu, Sarah? Your partner, Sarah, should respond with a drink order. Excellent. Now, after your meal, I'll ask, would you like dessert, Sarah? Remember, you can respond with, yes, could I see the dessert menu, please? Or, no, thank you, David. The meal was delicious, but I'm quite full. Thank you for your excellent service. Practice this dialogue with your partner several times, focusing on clear pronunciation and natural intonation. Try varying your responses. Perhaps you'd like to order coffee instead of dessert. The key is to sound confident and polite. Finally, when you're ready for the check, instead of simply saying, could we have the check, please? You could also add, and could you please separate the check if you're dining with a friend? Practice asking for the check in different ways. You could say, excuse me, could we get the bill, please? The important thing is to be polite and clear. Now, let's shift our focus to emergency situations. While we hope to never need to use these phrases, knowing them could prove invaluable. Imagine you're with your friend Michael and he suddenly feels faint. Instead of just saying, excuse me, could you please call an ambulance? My friend isn't feeling well. Try adding more details. Excuse me, sir, madam, could you please call an ambulance? My friend Michael has just fainted. He's pale and seems to be having difficulty breathing. We're at location. Providing more information helps emergency services respond more effectively. Practice this scenario with your partner, adding variations like describing other symptoms. Another example, if you lose your wallet, instead of just saying, I think I lost my wallet, it's black and has my ID and credit card inside. Could you help me check if anyone found it? Try this. Excuse me, I believe I've lost my wallet. It's a black leather wallet and it contains my driver's license, credit cards, and some cash. Could you please check if anyone has turned one in? I'd be incredibly grateful. Remember, clear descriptions and polite language are key. Finally, if you need to call the police, instead of simply saying, hello, I need help. Someone broke into my car and I'd like to report it. You might say, hello, police? I'm calling to report a break in. My car was broken into at location at approximately time. Describe what was stolen. I would like to file a police report. Remember, practicing these phrases will not only help you in real life situations, but also increase your confidence when speaking English. Even though emergencies are stressful, being prepared can make a significant difference. Now, let's practice some more scenarios. Okay, let's dive into storytelling, a fantastic way to boost your fluency. At the B1 and B2 levels, you should be able to craft short narratives about your experiences, complete with a compelling beginning, a detailed middle, and a satisfying conclusion. Let's start with a simple example. Last weekend, I went to a thrilling baseball game with my friend Mark. The sun blazed, painting the stadium in golden light. The air crackled with excitement. The stadium was packed, a sea of cheering fans, waving pennants and holding up signs. We were right behind home plate, the energy palpable. We roared our support for the home team, the City Sluggers, and the game was a nail biter. It went down to the wire. A tense bottom of the ninth inning. Finally, with 2 outs and bases loaded, our cleanup hitter smashed a grand slam. The stadium erupted. What an incredible day. The feeling of exhilaration stayed with me for days. Now let's try another story. A few months ago, I embarked on a challenging hike in the breathtaking Appalachian Mountains with my friend, Sarah. We started early, the morning air crisp and cool. The trail wound through a lush forest, sunlight dappling through the leaves. We passed babbling brooks, their waters sparkling in the sunlight, and marveled at the ancient trees. About halfway up, a sudden downpour caught us off guard. We were soaked to the bone, but instead of getting discouraged, we laughed, huddled together, and pressed on. Reaching the summit was unbelievably rewarding. The panoramic view was simply stunning, a vast expanse of rolling hills and valleys stretching to the horizon. It was a moment of pure, breathtaking beauty, making the challenging climb absolutely worthwhile. The shared experience strengthened our bond and created a memory that we will cherish forever. Storytelling is key. It helps you seamlessly incorporate past tense verbs, weave in vivid details, and captivate your audience. Now it's your turn. Think of a simple story from your life, a trip, a fun day with friends, or a surprising event. Try to tell it aloud in 3 to 4 sentences. Begin by setting the scene. When and where did it happen? Then describe the events and finally share your feelings about the experience. Great job. Let's practice storytelling in a role play scenario. Imagine Monday morning. Your coworker David asks, "How was your weekend?" Instead of a simple good, tell a short story. For example, "It was fantastic, David. Saturday was all about relaxation. I spent the day reading a captivating novel by the lake. Sunday, however, was an adventure. I went kayaking with my family and saw an amazing eagle soaring overhead. It was a perfectly balanced weekend. Repeat after me. It was fantastic, David. Saturday was all about relaxation. I spent the day reading a captivating novel by the lake. Sunday, however, was an adventure. I went kayaking with my family and saw an amazing eagle soaring overhead. It was a perfectly balanced weekend." See? This expands your responses beyond one word answers, a crucial step to sounding fluent. Now let's combine storytelling with expressing opinions. Imagine you're describing a new restaurant. You could say, "Last Friday, Barakish, I dined at a fantastic new Italian restaurant with my friend, Sarah. The food was absolutely divine. The pasta, in particular, was to die for. I honestly believe it's one of the best Italian restaurants in town, and I'm already planning my next visit." Repeat after me. Last Friday, I dined at a fantastic new Italian restaurant with my friend Sarah. The food was absolutely divine. The pasta, in particular, was to die for. I honestly believe it's one of the best Italian restaurants in town, and I'm already planning my next visit. This blends storytelling and opinions, a vital skill at the intermediate level. Let's do a storytelling fluency drill. I'll give you a word, and you'll create a short story using it. Ready? Word 1, concert. Example. Last summer, I attended a spectacular outdoor concert. The music was electrifying, and the atmosphere was electric. We danced under the stars, singing along to every song. It was an unforgettable evening. Word 2, trip. Example. My family and I recently took a memorable trip to the Grand Canyon. The vastness of the canyon was breathtaking. The colors of the rock formations were amazing. We hiked a portion of the South Rim Trail and took stunning photographs. It was a trip we'll never forget. Word 3, birthday. Example. My sister's recent birthday was a joyous celebration. We threw a surprise party complete with decorations, delicious cake, and heartfelt gifts. Seeing her joyful reaction made all the effort worthwhile. It was a perfect birthday. These drills help you naturally connect events and practice past tense verbs in context. Finally, let's focus on school and study conversations. These are invaluable even if you aren't a student, as they help you describe routines, subjects, and goals. Imagine you're at college. Your classmate Sarah asks, "What classes are you taking this semester?" Instead of a simple English and history, you can say, "I'm taking English, history, and a challenging biology course. English is my favorite. I love delving into literature and improving my writing skills. History is fascinating, exploring the intricacies of past civilizations, and biology, despite its complexity, is intriguing because of the insights into human physiology." Repeat after me. I'm taking English, history, and a challenging biology course. English is my favorite. I love delving into literature and improving my writing skills. History is fascinating, exploring the intricacies of past civilizations, and biology, despite its complexity, is intriguing because of the insights into human physiology. This shows a more advanced level of English proficiency. Okay, let's enhance this English language learning passage. We'll focus on expanding the examples and adding more detail to make the practice more engaging and effective. This section focuses on improving conversational English skills through various scenarios. We started by discussing school subjects and homework. You mentioned finding math challenging but enjoying economics. Let's build on that. Imagine you're talking to your teacher, Mr. Johnson. He asks, "How's your homework coming along, Sarah?" You could reply, "It's going pretty well, Mr. Johnson, but I'm still working on the essay for history. The research is taking longer than I anticipated, especially finding reliable sources for the American Revolution section. I'm aiming to finish it by tomorrow evening. My math homework, however, is mostly done. I just need to double check a couple of those calculus problems before class." Notice how adding details makes your response sound more natural and fluent. You've not only reported progress, but also explained challenges and expressed a time frame for completion. Now let's shift to casual conversations. We'll practice talking about movies and books. Your friend Michael asks, "Seen any good movies lately?" Instead of a simple yes, try this. "Hey, Michael, yeah, I saw The Family Trip, a comedy that came out last weekend. It was hilarious. Amanda's character, the quirky aunt, was absolutely brilliant. She stole every scene she was in. I highly recommend it if you need a good laugh." See how we've incorporated descriptive adjectives, hilarious, brilliant, and a specific detail, the quirky aunt, to make the recommendation more engaging. Let's try another movie example. Suppose you watched an action movie with your friend Jessica. Instead of just saying it was exciting, expand your response. You could say, "I went to see Renegade with Jessica last Friday. The action sequences were incredible, truly edge of your seat stuff. But yeah, the ending felt a bit predictable. I guess the main villain's identity halfway through, it still made for a fun night out, though." Notice the specific movie title and the added detail of how predictable the ending was. Discussing books offers a similar opportunity for detailed responses. If someone asks if you enjoy reading, don't just say yes. Try. "Absolutely. I love novels, especially mysteries and thrillers. I just finished The Shadow Syndicate by Daniel Brown. I couldn't put it down." The plot twists were so unexpected and kept me guessing until the very end. The characters were really well developed too, especially the protagonist, who's a bit of a morally gray character. It was a fantastic read. Here we've mentioned the genre, book title, and author, providing specific details that make the response more engaging. Next, we'll practice longer storytelling. Remember to incorporate time expressions, descriptions, and feelings. Consider this example. Last summer, my family and I went on a road trip across California. We started in Los Angeles, exploring Hollywood, taking pictures with the Walk of Fame stars, and visiting the Griffith Observatory. It was incredibly busy, but the views were breathtaking. Next, we drove up the Pacific Coast Highway to San Francisco, stopping at many scenic overlooks along the way. We crossed the Golden Gate Bridge, an unforgettable experience. The San Francisco fog was really interesting. It was much cooler there, and we spent a relaxing day wandering along Fisherman's Wharf and enjoying the sea lions. We even took a ferry to Alcatraz Island. By the end of the trip, I was exhausted, but had created memories I will treasure forever. Finally, let's try a shorter story about a celebration. Let's say it was a friend's birthday. 2 weeks ago, I went to Emily's 25th birthday party. It was at her apartment, decorated with colorful fairy lights and streamers. There was a great playlist, some good music. Everyone was dancing and laughing. The highlight was when her boyfriend surprised her with a beautiful handmade quilt, and all of us sang Happy Birthday. Emily was so touched. It was a really joyful celebration, filled with lots of love and laughter. This expands upon the original by detailing the decorations, the music, the gift, and Emily's emotional reaction, making it a richer story. Now it's your turn. Think of a celebration you've been to and describe it with details, aiming for 3 to 4 sentences. Remember to include time expressions, descriptions, and how you felt. Let's now add a role play element. Imagine your coworker, Daniel, asks, "Did you do anything interesting last weekend?" Instead of a simple no, you can say, "Yes, Daniel. I went hiking in the mountains with my cousin Emily. The trail was challenging, but the views from the summit were absolutely stunning. We packed a picnic lunch and spent hours just enjoying the fresh air and beautiful scenery. It was a wonderful, relaxing escape from the city." Notice how we've added details that vividly paint a picture of your weekend. Practice this in other scenarios, adding descriptions, details, and emotional responses. This focused practice will improve your conversational fluency and enhance your English speaking skills dramatically. Okay, let's look at how we can improve this paragraph. The original focuses on repetition for language learning, but we can make it more engaging and descriptive while retaining the core message. We'll replace Daniel with Liam for consistency. Here's a revised version that expands on the original, incorporating more vivid details and a teaching style. Let's practice describing a fun outing. The original sentence is, "I went to the park with my cousin Emily. We had a picnic by the lake, and then we rented bikes and rode around the park. It was relaxing and fun at the same time." Now, let's add some descriptive details to make it more interesting. Imagine this. I went to the park with my cousin Emily. The sun was shining, a perfect summer day, with fluffy white clouds drifting lazily across the sky. We spread out our picnic blanket by the crystal clear lake, the water sparkling like 1,000 tiny diamonds. The air was filled with the sweet scent of wildflowers and the gentle chirping of birds. For our picnic, we had juicy sandwiches, crisp apples, and refreshing lemonade. After lunch, we strolled to the bike rental shop, a quaint little building nestled among the trees. We chose two bright blue bikes, hopped on, and started our adventure. The park paths wound through lush greenery, dappling the sunlight and creating a cool, shady canopy. We rode past vibrant flower beds bursting with color, crimson roses, sunny yellow daffodils, and deep purple violets. We even saw a family of playful squirrels chasing each other up a towering oak tree. The gentle breeze rustled the leaves, creating a soothing, whispering sound. The whole experience was incredibly relaxing, a perfect balance of peaceful nature and invigorating exercise. It was genuinely fun and relaxing, the perfect way to spend a summer afternoon. Now let's repeat the enhanced version, focusing on the descriptive elements. Liam, can you repeat after me? I went to the park with my cousin Emily on a sunny summer day. We enjoyed a relaxing picnic by the lake, surrounded by beautiful flowers and the sounds of nature. Then we rented bright blue bikes and cycled through shady paths, enjoying the fresh air and picturesque scenery. It was a fun and relaxing experience. Excellent, Liam. See how adding descriptive words and phrases significantly enhances the storytelling and makes the experience more vivid. This revised version maintains the core meaning, but it is significantly longer, approximately double the original. Richer in detail and uses a more engaging teaching style with repetition and a clear explanation of the improvement process. Okay, class, let's wrap up this practice session with a fluency drill focusing on quick storytelling prompts. We'll build confidence in smoothly transitioning between ideas. Ready? Our first word is school. Let's see some creative storytelling. For example, last semester at State University, I crammed for my finals. The pressure was intense, fueled by copious amounts of coffee and late night study sessions in the library. When the results finally came, I practically jumped for joy. I'd aced all my classes, even organic chemistry, which I initially thought was impossible. Next word, movie. Let's hear some movie magic. Example: last Friday, my friend Sarah and I saw The Crimson Tide at the Majestic Theater downtown. The plot was complex, weaving together political intrigue and personal drama. And even though it ran almost 3 hours, the gripping storyline and incredible acting kept us on the edge of our seats until the very end. We grabbed a delicious pizza afterward, still buzzing from the experience. Finally, book. Time to dive into some literary adventures. Example: I just finished read The Unexpected Inheritance last night. The twist at the end completely blindsided me. I'd suspected the villain's identity, but the author cleverly subverted my expectations, leading to a thrilling and unexpected conclusion. I immediately ordered the sequel. These exercises sharpen your storytelling abilities and improve your fluency in connecting ideas. Now let's shift gears and practice essential conversational English, requesting services and making polite complaints. These situations might feel awkward, but at the B1 and B2 levels, you should confidently express yourself clearly and respectfully. Let's imagine scenarios. You're at the Cozy Corner Cafe, and your meal arrives cold. Instead of a blunt, "This is cold, try this." "Excuse me, Maria, my pasta seems a little chilly. Could you perhaps kindly warm it up for me? I'd appreciate it." Repeat after me. "Excuse me, Maria, my pasta seems a little chilly. Could you perhaps kindly warm it up for me? I'd appreciate it." Another example. You're at the Grand Hotel, and the air conditioning is malfunctioning. Instead of just complaining, say, "Hello, David. The air conditioning in room 427 isn't working properly. It's quite warm, and I'd be grateful if someone could take a look at it as soon as possible." Practice with me. "Hello, David. The air conditioning in room 427 isn't working properly. It's quite warm, and I'd be grateful if someone could take a look at it as soon as possible." Let's say you ordered a package from Online Emporium 2 weeks ago and it hasn't arrived. When you call, say, "Hi, Amanda, I ordered a package, tracking number 7X32P 2 weeks ago, but it hasn't arrived yet. Could you please check the status for me?" Repeat after me. "Hi, Amanda, I ordered a package tracking number 7X32P 2 weeks ago, but it hasn't arrived yet. Could you please check the status for me?" Notice the politeness in each example. Directness is important, but so is maintaining respectful, courteous communication. This balance is essential in American English. Now let's focus on requesting services. At Sheer Perfection Hair Salon, you could say, "Hi, Jessica, I'd like a haircut, please. Could you trim it a little shorter, but keep the layers? I'm aiming for a shoulder length style with some volume." Practice with me. "Hi, Jessica, I'd like a haircut, please. Could you trim it a little shorter, but keep the layers? I'm aiming for a shoulder length style with some volume." At Clean Sweep Dry Cleaners, you would say, "Hello, I'd like to drop off these shirts for dry cleaning. Could you have them ready by Friday afternoon? I need them for a wedding." Repeat after me. "Hello, I'd like to drop off these shirts for dry cleaning. Could you have them ready by Friday afternoon? I need them for a wedding." At First National Bank, you would say, "Good afternoon. My name is Daniel Johnson. I'd like to open a new savings account, please. I'm interested in learning more about your high yield options." Practice with me. "Good afternoon. My name is Daniel Johnson. I'd like to open a new savings account, please. I'm interested in learning more about your high yield options." These service interactions prepare you for real world situations in English speaking countries. Finally, let's tackle problem solving conversations. You're at the airport and your flight is delayed. You politely inquire, "Excuse me, Michael, do you know how long the delay will be for Flight 325 to Chicago? I have a connecting flight to catch." Repeat after me. "Excuse me, Michael, do you know how long the delay will be for Flight 325 to Chicago? I have a connecting flight to catch." Your phone malfunctions, and you visit the Cell Central store. You explain, "Hi, my phone isn't turning on. I've tried everything, and I'm not sure what's wrong. Could you please check it and see if it needs repair?" Practice with me. "Hi, my phone isn't turning on. I've tried everything, and I'm not sure what's wrong. Could you please check it and see if it needs repair?" You missed the bus and are late for work. You apologize to your manager, David. "I'm so sorry I'm late, David. The bus broke down this morning and I had to wait over 30 minutes for the next one. I've already started on my tasks." Repeat after me. "I'm so sorry I'm late, David. The bus broke down this morning and I had to wait over 30 minutes for the next one. I've already started on my tasks." Mastering these problem solving phrases prepares you for unexpected situations. Now, for some role playing, you're at a cafe. The barista, Amanda, gives you black coffee when you ordered a latte. You politely correct her. "Excuse me, Amanda, I actually ordered a latte, not black coffee. Could you please make me a latte instead? I'd really appreciate it." Repeat. "Excuse me, Amanda, I actually ordered a latte, not black coffee. Could you please make me a latte instead? I'd really appreciate it." Next, you're at Trendy Threads clothing store. You discover a rip in a shirt you bought yesterday. You say, "Well, hello, I bought this shirt yesterday, but I just noticed there's a small rip near the seam. Could I please exchange it for another one?" Let's practice that. "Hello, I bought this shirt yesterday, but I just noticed there's a small rip near the seam. Could I please exchange it for another one?" Excellent work, everyone. We've covered a lot today. Remember, practice makes perfect. Let's continue practicing English for everyday situations. We'll focus on expressing polite complaints and suggesting alternatives, crucial skills for navigating daily challenges. Politeness and problem solving. In English first, let's revisit polite complaints. Imagine you bought a shirt yesterday and discovered a small tear in the sleeve. Instead of simply stating the problem, let's practice a polite approach. We'll use the example of returning to the store. Repeat after me. "Hello, I bought this shirt yesterday, and I just noticed there's a small tear near the cuff of the left sleeve. Could I possibly exchange it for another one of the same style and size?" Notice the addition of detail, specifying the location of the tear near the cuff of the left sleeve and requesting the same style and size to ensure a smoother exchange. Saying it this way makes your request clearer and more professional. Again, "Hello, I bought this shirt yesterday, and I just noticed there's a small tear near the cuff of the left sleeve. Could I possibly exchange it for another one in the same size and color?" We've changed the phrasing slightly to emphasize both size and color are important for a proper replacement. Practice this a few more times, varying the description of the tear slightly each time. This helps you become more comfortable and confident in expressing yourself clearly. Now, let's transition to problem solving in casual conversation. Picture this. You and your friend, Jessica, planned a picnic, but the weather has taken a turn. How can you politely suggest an alternative? Practice with me. "Looks like it's really coming down, Jessica. Instead of the picnic, how about we grab coffee at that new cafe downtown, The Daily Grind? They have amazing pastries, too." Again, adding detail, like specifying the cafe's name, personalizes the suggestion and shows you've put thought into your alternative. Again, "Looks like it's pouring, Jessica. Instead of a picnic in the park, perhaps we could cozy up at the Daily Grind and enjoy some hot chocolate. It's much more comfortable in this weather." This time we've adjusted the phrasing and included a more comforting suggestion suitable for a rainy day. The key is to be flexible and adapt your language to the specific situation. Let's expand on this concept of suggesting alternatives. Here are a couple more examples. Example 1. "Oh no, the Italian restaurant is closed. How about we order pizza from Sal's Pizzeria instead? They deliver." Note the specific name of the alternative restaurant. Example 2. "The shoe store is out of my size. I'll just order them online from their website. They offer free shipping too." Details about the alternative's benefits. Advanced role playing, handling unexpected situations. Let's move on to more complex scenarios that combine these skills. Imagine you're at a hotel in New York City. Your key card isn't working. Repeat after me. "Hi, Michael. I'm in room 307, and my key card isn't working. Could you please help me reactivate it or issue a new one?" Clear, concise, and polite. Now imagine you're at LAX and your luggage is missing. Say it with me. "Excuse me, my name is Daniel Johnson. I just arrived on flight 210 from Chicago, but my suitcase hasn't arrived yet. The baggage tag number is insert tag number here. Could you please help me locate it?" Providing the baggage tag number is critical for efficient tracking. These role playing scenarios prepare you for real life conversations, building your confidence in handling potentially stressful situations. Fluency drills, quick prompts. Let's do a quick fluency drill. I'll give you a word and you'll create a short story incorporating a problem and its solution. Word one, restaurant. Yesterday, I went to a fancy restaurant for my anniversary. Unfortunately, they mixed up our orders. After politely explaining the issue, the manager offered us a complimentary appetizer and dessert to compensate for the inconvenience. Note the detail and how the problem was professionally resolved. Word 2, hotel. My hotel room had a leaky faucet. I reported it to the front desk, and within minutes, a maintenance worker arrived and fixed it efficiently. They even offered a discount on our next stay as a gesture of goodwill. Specifics and positive resolution. Word 3, store. I purchased a new laptop at the electronics store, but when I got home, I discovered a small scratch on the screen. I returned to the store, and they gladly exchanged it for a brand new, undamaged one. Clear explanation and positive outcome. These drills will make your English more flexible and adaptable to everyday situations. Expanding on hobbies, adding depth to your conversations. Hobbies are great conversation starters. Instead of simply saying, I watch TV, let's add details and emotions to our responses. Repeat after me. In my free time, I love to paint landscapes. I usually spend a couple of hours each weekend at my studio. I find the process incredibly relaxing, and I really enjoy capturing the beauty of nature through my art. Details enhance the description. Again, I enjoy baking bread on the weekends. It's a time consuming process, but the smell of freshly baked bread fills my kitchen and always makes me feel satisfied and happy. I often share my creations with friends and family. Shows the feelings associated with the hobby. Now it's your turn. Think about your favorite hobby. Describe it, including details like how often you do it, who you share it with, what you enjoy most about it, and how it makes you feel. Speak it out loud. Excellent. Remember, the goal is not just to answer a question, but to engage the listener and build a connection. By adding details, you'll communicate more effectively and sound more fluent in English. Okay, let's build upon this section about personal goals. We've talked about hobbies. Now let's delve deeper into how to express your future aspirations. Remember, at this intermediate level, you should be able to articulate your goals clearly and confidently. It's not just about having goals, but about expressing them effectively in English. Previously, we mentioned learning guitar. That's a fantastic example. Let's expand on it. Instead of simply saying, I've been learning guitar, we can add detail. For instance, you could say, I've recently taken up the guitar. It's been a real challenge, but incredibly rewarding. I'm currently working on mastering basic chords like G, C, and D, and I'm even starting to learn some simple strumming patterns. I practice for about 30 minutes most evenings, usually after dinner, and I find it's a great way to unwind after a long day. My goal is to be able to play a few simple songs by the end of the year, maybe even perform one at our next office party. See how much richer that description is? Now, let's look at another key area: improving English fluency. Repeating, one of my goals this year is to improve my English speaking fluency multiple times. Is good practice for memorization, but we can make it more dynamic. Instead, try this. One of my primary goals this year is to significantly enhance my English conversational skills. I'm actively working on this through several methods. I watch English language movies and TV shows, focusing on understanding the natural rhythm and pronunciation. I also utilize language learning apps where I practice repeating sentences and engaging in short dialogues. Furthermore, I'm trying to incorporate English into my daily life as much as possible, thinking in English during my commute, ordering my coffee in English, and even trying to describe my day to my family in English. This illustrates a more comprehensive approach. Let's explore another common goal, health and fitness. Instead of just saying, I want to get healthier, let's paint a vivid picture. You could say, my goal for this year is to prioritize my health and well being. I plan to incorporate regular exercise into my routine, aiming for at least 3 45-minute workouts per week. I've already signed up for a yoga class twice a week, and I'm planning on going for runs on the other days. Along with exercise, I'm focusing on improving my diet by consuming more fruits and vegetables. I'm aiming to incorporate a salad into my lunch every day and snack on fruits instead of processed foods. My ultimate goal is to feel more energetic, sleep better, and simply feel better overall. Notice the specificity. It's not just about exercising, but how you plan to exercise and what you'll be eating. Remember, the key to expressing your goals effectively is to be specific and descriptive. Use vivid language to paint a picture of your aspirations and the steps you're taking to achieve them. The phrases, one of my goals is, and I want to, are excellent starting points, but don't be afraid to expand on them and provide context. This shows your determination and fluency. Practice these examples, and soon you'll be able to confidently articulate your own personal goals in English. Okay, class, let's work on improving our conversational English. We'll focus on expressing goals, dreams, and everyday experiences. This will help you move from an intermediate B1 to an upper intermediate B2 level of fluency. First, let's practice talking about goals. Imagine you're chatting with your friend, Mark, and he asks, what are your goals for this year? You could respond with something like this: Hey, Mark, I have a few goals. My main one is to save enough money for a down payment on a used car. I've been diligently tracking my expenses, cutting back on unnecessary spending, and putting as much as possible into savings. I'm hoping to reach my goal by December. Let's repeat that a few times for practice. Notice how I use specific examples like tracking expenses and cutting back on unnecessary spending to make my answer more detailed and engaging. Now, let's move on to describing future dreams. At an intermediate level, you should be able to elaborate on your aspirations. Instead of simply saying, I want to travel, let's add depth. For example, one of my biggest dreams is to take an extensive road trip across the United States. I envision starting in New York City, experiencing its vibrant energy and rich history, then heading west to see the stunning landscapes of California, including Los Angeles and the Redwood Forests. Finally, I'd visit Chicago, known for its amazing architecture and blues music. Each city offers a unique cultural experience I'm eager to explore. Say it with me, focusing on the descriptive language. Another dream might be something like, I'd love to become a certified scuba diving instructor. I've always been fascinated by the ocean and marine life, and I believe teaching others about the underwater world would be incredibly rewarding. I'd get to share my passion while helping people discover the beauty and wonder of the ocean. Practice expressing this dream with different levels of detail, adding more information each time. Dreams often involve conditional sentences and future tense. For instance, if I had the chance, I would spend a year volunteering in a wildlife sanctuary in Costa Rica. I imagine waking up to the sounds of the rainforest, working alongside passionate conservationists, and contributing to wildlife protection efforts. It would be a life changing experience. Let's practice these conditional sentences together, paying attention to the would and if clauses. Now, let's look at planning for the next 5 years. Imagine Jessica asks, "What are your plans for the next 5 years?" You could say, "In the next 5 years, I plan to complete my master's degree in environmental science, secure a position as a research assistant at a reputable university, and hopefully begin publishing my research findings in scientific journals. Beyond that, I hope to travel to some of the world's most incredible natural environments to conduct fieldwork for my research." Notice how this response provides a clear timeline and adds specific details to make it more convincing. Let's repeat this a few times. To boost your fluency, we'll do a quick drill. I'll give you a word, and you'll construct a sentence about your goals or dreams using that word. Ready? Word one, career. Example, my career goal is to become a software engineer specializing in artificial intelligence because I want to develop innovative solutions to complex problems. Word two, travel. Example, my dream is to travel to Southeast Asia and volunteer at an elephant sanctuary because I'm passionate about wildlife conservation. Word three, family. Example, in the future, I hope to spend more quality time with my family, creating lasting memories and strengthening our bonds. Remember, expressing your goals and dreams develops your ability to speak at length, connect ideas logically, and share personal perspectives. This is vital for progressing towards B2 fluency. Finally, let's tackle everyday conversations. Everyone faces minor inconveniences. Being able to describe these situations naturally in English is crucial. Imagine you're talking to Amanda and say, "My car wouldn't start this morning, so I had to call a tow truck and then take a ride share to work, which made me incredibly late for that important meeting." Practice this. Here's another scenario. I completely forgot my lunch today, and of course, the nearest cafe was unexpectedly closed, so I had to eat a rather sad granola bar at my desk. Let's work on this one together. One more. The internet went down last night, and I couldn't submit my assignment on time, so I had to email my professor explaining the situation and requesting an extension. Practice this using because, so, and of course to connect your ideas smoothly. Lastly, imagine you're talking to Daniel, your coworker. "I was late this morning because the train was delayed due to unforeseen track maintenance." Or speaking with Jessica, you could say, "I spilled coffee all over my new shirt this morning, so I had to quickly change into a spare outfit before the presentation." Practice using these examples, incorporating appropriate detail and natural sounding language. These scenarios demonstrate how to seamlessly connect ideas and build more complex sentences. Excellent work, everyone. Okay, let's dive deeper into practicing English at an intermediate level. We'll focus on giving advice, agreeing and disagreeing politely, and describing cultural traditions, all crucial aspects of fluent communication. We started with a relatable scenario: spilling coffee on your shirt before an important meeting. This isn't just a clumsy mishap. It's a perfect illustration of connecting past actions, spilling coffee, with their consequences, needing a change of clothes. This real life connection helps solidify understanding and reinforces the importance of situational awareness in communication. This is a great example of problem solving and proactive thinking in our daily lives. Now, let's refine our ability to offer helpful advice. At this level, you should comfortably use phrases like "you should kuish," Why don't you? And if I were you. These aren't just grammatical structures, they're social lubricants, making your advice sound both helpful and considerate. Let's practice. Imagine your friend, Sarah, says, I'm exhausted lately. I'm always so tired. Instead of a simple, you should sleep more, we can be more specific. Sarah, you should try establishing a consistent bedtime routine. Perhaps try dimming the lights an hour before bed, reading a book instead of scrolling through your phone, and ensuring your bedroom is cool and dark. Even small changes like these can make a huge difference. Another example: suppose your friend Mark complains, I have no idea what to cook for dinner tonight. You could respond with, why don't you try a simple recipe like one pan roasted chicken and vegetables? It's minimal cleanup, healthy, and delicious. Many quick and easy recipes are available online. You can even filter by dietary restrictions or available ingredients. This adds a layer of helpfulness beyond simply suggesting pasta. Now, consider a more complex scenario. Your friend, David, expresses anxiety about an upcoming English exam. Instead of a simple study hard, try this. David, if I were you, I'd focus on practicing speaking out loud, even 15 minutes a day. Reading aloud from a textbook or news article can greatly improve your fluency and confidence. And don't forget to review past materials. Revisiting concepts consistently helps them solidify. Notice how this advice is more tailored and supportive. Let's move on to expressing agreement and disagreement. At the intermediate level, you need to go beyond simple yes or no responses. Let's practice nuanced agreement and respectful disagreement. Imagine Amanda says, I believe daily English practice is crucial for improvement. You could reply, I completely agree, Amanda. Consistent, even brief, daily practice builds lasting habits and reinforces what you've learned. It's like exercising a muscle. Regular use strengthens it. This provides a reason why you agree, making your response more persuasive and meaningful. Now, let's try partial agreement. If Mark says, I think watching movies is a better way to learn English than reading books, you could say, I see your point, Mark. Movies are fantastic for improving listening comprehension and picking up colloquialisms. However, reading enhances vocabulary and grammar significantly. A balanced approach, incorporating both, is likely the most effective strategy. This acknowledges his viewpoint while presenting a counter argument respectfully. Finally, let's practice polite disagreement. If David says, I don't think daily practice is essential, respond with, I understand what you mean, David. It's true that you can make progress with less frequent, intensive study sessions. But even short, consistent practice sessions are more likely to result in lasting improvements because of habit formation. Think of it like brushing your teeth. Small daily habits lead to major long term benefits. This careful approach demonstrates respect while still expressing your own opinion. Let's continue to role play these scenarios to solidify your skills. Remember, these aren't just exercises, they're building blocks for confident and effective communication in various settings. Finally, let's discuss cultural traditions. At an intermediate level, you should be able to describe traditions, compare and contrast them, and share personal experiences. For instance, you could say, in the United States, Thanksgiving is a cherished holiday centered around family and gratitude. It's traditionally celebrated with a large feast, often featuring roast turkey, stuffing, and various side dishes. Families gather, often traveling across the country to share a meal, reflect on the past year, and express their appreciation for loved ones. Many participate in parades and volunteer work before the meal, highlighting the community building aspect of the holiday. This richer description goes beyond simply stating what people eat. It adds detail and context. We will continue to practice these elements and more in our future sessions. Let's explore the topic of celebrations. Celebrations are a fantastic way to practice English because they involve storytelling, descriptions of people and places, and expressing emotions. We'll start by looking at some examples. First, consider Thanksgiving. Many families gather for a large feast, sharing a delicious meal featuring a roasted turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, gravy, and pumpkin pie. Beyond the food, a key part of Thanksgiving is spending quality time together, sharing what they're thankful for, a practice that fosters strong family bonds and reflects on blessings received throughout the year. It's a time for reflection and gratitude. Let's practice. This past Thanksgiving, my family gathered at Grandma's house. We ate a huge meal, played games, and shared stories about what we were thankful for. It was a truly heartwarming day. Now you try. Describe your own Thanksgiving or a similar holiday focusing on the food, activities, and feelings involved. Another example is the 4th of July Independence Day in the United States. It's a vibrant celebration of freedom and independence. Many Americans celebrate with elaborate fireworks, displays that light up the night sky, colorful parades showcasing patriotic themes, and lively barbecues with friends and family. The air is filled with the sounds of laughter, music, and the sizzling of food on the grill. Think about the sights, sounds, and smells associated with this holiday. Let's practice saying this. On the 4th of July, we had a big barbecue in the park. There were fireworks, music, and lots of delicious food. It was a fun and festive day. Now it's your turn to describe a significant holiday or cultural event in your own community, focusing on the activities, food, and overall atmosphere. Remember to speak it aloud to improve your fluency. Now let's move beyond specific holidays and talk more broadly about celebrations. Let's take Christmas, for instance. Last Christmas, my family decorated our house with twinkling lights, a magnificent Christmas tree adorned with ornaments and garlands. On Christmas Eve, we exchanged gifts, a tradition filled with anticipation and joy, and enjoyed a festive dinner together. It was a truly warm and happy time, filled with laughter and the spirit of giving. We even watched a classic Christmas movie together afterward. Repeat after me. Last Christmas, my family. Now you create your own sentence describing a memorable Christmas celebration. Let's look at another example. My birthday last year. My friends surprised me with a fantastic party at Sarah's cozy apartment. They decorated with colorful balloons, played my favorite music, creating a lively atmosphere, and even baked my favorite chocolate cake. A delicious masterpiece. I felt so loved and appreciated. It was a truly unforgettable birthday. Practice saying this for my birthday last year. Now create your own description of a memorable birthday celebration. Finally, let's role play. Imagine your coworker David asks, "Did you celebrate your birthday this year?" Instead of a simple yes, give a detailed answer. For example, "Yes, David, I did. I had a quiet but lovely celebration. My family and I went to a fantastic Italian restaurant, savoring delicious pasta and wine. Afterward, we went back home and enjoyed a small homemade cake. It was simple but perfect." Now, practice your own version of this conversation, making sure to include vivid details. Remember, the more descriptive you are, the more engaging and natural your English will sound. Okay, class, Let's dive into crafting compelling travel narratives. Travel is a fantastic topic for practicing past tense verbs, descriptive language, and expressing personal opinions. It's a great way to bring your English to life. For example, 2 years ago, I visited New York City with my cousin, Sarah. We didn't just see Times Square, we experienced the dazzling, overwhelming sensory overload of a million flashing lights, the cacophony of sounds, and the sheer energy of the crowds. We didn't just walk through Central Park, we strolled along its meandering paths, admiring the vibrant bursts of color from the blossoming flowers in the springtime, the rustling leaves in the summer, or the fiery hues of autumn foliage. And that boat ride past the Statue of Liberty? The sun glistened off the copper, the gentle rocking of the boat, the cool spray of the water on our faces. It was truly unforgettable. Let's repeat that a bit more descriptively. 2 years ago, I experienced the vibrant energy of New York City with my cousin Sarah. We strolled through Central Park, marveling at the season specific description, then witnessed the dazzling spectacle of Times Square at night. Finally, we enjoyed a refreshing boat ride, feeling the spray of the water as we sailed past the majestic Statue of Liberty. It was an unforgettable trip. Let's try another example. Last summer, I went to Florida with my friend, Emily. We didn't just spend time on the beach, we spent hours basking in the warm Florida sun. The fine white sand between our toes, the rhythmic sound of waves a constant lullaby. The water was so clear and inviting. We swam until we were tired, then relaxed, sharing stories and laughter. Disney World wasn't just fun, it was a whirlwind of fantastical adventures, vibrant colors, and the sheer joy of reliving our childhoods. Remember to use vivid language. Last summer, I escaped to the sun drenched beaches of Florida with my friend Emily. We spent countless hours swimming in the crystal clear water, building sandcastles and basking in the warmth of the sun. One unforgettable day, we immersed ourselves in the magical world of Disney World, reliving our childhood dreams and creating new memories. Now it's your turn. Think of a recent trip. Describe the sights, sounds, smells, even the tastes. What did you do? How did you feel? Don't just tell me, show me. Excellent. Now, let's move on to expressing nuanced opinions. At an intermediate level, you need to explain why you feel a certain way. If someone asks, do you prefer big cities or small towns? You shouldn't just say big cities, but explain why. I prefer the vibrancy and opportunities of a big city, the endless array of restaurants, the diverse cultures, and the constant buzz of activity. However, I can appreciate the peace and quiet of a small town. Its slower pace of life and strong sense of community can be very appealing. Repeat that. Let's make sure you're comfortable expressing both sides of your preference. Similarly, if asked about online versus classroom learning, you could say something like, while online learning offers unparalleled flexibility and convenience, allowing me to learn at my own pace and from anywhere, I also value the interactive learning environment of a classroom. The opportunity to engage with teachers and classmates directly, to ask questions and participate in discussions, is invaluable for deeper understanding and collaborative learning. Practice expressing both viewpoints clearly and confidently. Let's role play. Imagine someone says, I think learning English is easier when you watch movies. You could respond with, I agree that watching movies is a fantastic way to improve listening comprehension and get a feel for natural speech patterns. However, actively engaging in speak and practice is equally, if not more important, for building fluency and confidence in expressing yourself. Now let's combine culture, celebrations, travel, and opinions. Holiday. My favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. I love the delicious smells of roasting turkey and pumpkin pie, but most of all, I cherish the time spent with family and friends, sharing stories and laughter around a warm and inviting table. Trip. Last winter, I embarked on an unforgettable trip to the charming city of Quebec City in Canada. I explored the cobblestone streets of Old Quebec, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, marveled at the stunning architecture, and enjoyed the cozy ambiance of the city's many cafes and restaurants. The winter wonderland setting, with the snow covered streets and festive decorations, created an enchanting atmosphere. Opinion. In my opinion, consistent practice is crucial to mastering a new language. Immersing yourself in the language through various activities like reading, listening to music, and conversing with native speakers accelerates the learning process. Finally, let's engage in extended storytelling practice. Imagine your friend asks, "What was one of the best days you've had recently?" You could respond with a detailed narrative, weaving together the events, feelings, and your reflections. Let's use the hiking example again. One of the best days I recently had was when I went hiking in the mountains with my friend, Emily. We started early, the air crisp and cool, the sun just beginning to peek over the peaks. The trail was challenging but rewarding, taking us through lush forests, past babbling brooks, and eventually to a breathtaking vista. The feeling of accomplishment at the summit, coupled with the sheer beauty of the panoramic view, created a sense of peace and tranquility I hadn't felt in a long time. It was a reminder of nature's power and the simple joys of friendship. Remember to expand on this, bringing in sensory details and emotions. The more detail you provide, the more engaging and memorable your storytelling will be. Okay, let's enhance this English learning segment. We'll build on the original text, adding detail and making it more engaging for learners. Now, let's delve into another storytelling exercise. Imagine Michael asks, "Have you ever had a hilariously awkward moment at work?" You could respond, "Yes, Michael. One day, during a crucial presentation to the entire marketing team, the kind where your career hinges on a successful pitch, the lights suddenly flickered and died, plunging us into complete darkness. The silence was deafening for a moment, punctuated only by a few nervous coughs. Then my colleague David, a man known for his quick wit and even quicker thinking, quipped, 'Well, this certainly adds a dramatic flair to the Q&A session. Shall we continue by candlelight?' Everyone erupted in laughter. It completely defused the tense atmosphere. That stressful moment is now a cherished anecdote, a funny memory we still recount at team gatherings. It perfectly illustrates how a little humor can transform a potentially disastrous situation. Let's practice this. Say it with me. Yes, Michael. One day, during a crucial presentation to the marketing team, the lights went out, plunging us into darkness. After a moment of stunned silence, my colleague David joked about continuing by candlelight. Everyone laughed. It turned a tense moment into a funny memory. Storytelling like this helps build your descriptive skills and incorporates sequencing words like first, then, next, finally, or one day. It also allows you to flex your humor muscle, a very useful skill in English conversations. Now, let's incorporate some reflective practice questions to help you think and speak simultaneously. Remember, the goal is not just a single sentence answer. Aim for 3 to 4 sentences, rich in detail. Question 1. What was your most memorable trip in the past 5 years? Consider the location, your travel companions, specific activities, and most importantly, how the experience made you feel. Take a moment to formulate your answer, then speak it aloud. Excellent. Question 2. What's a significant goal you have for the future? Why is this goal personally important to you? Connect it to a past experience or a strong personal feeling. Share your answer now. Fantastic. Question 3. What's a hobby you genuinely enjoy and how often do you engage in it? Describe it vividly, the setting, the people involved, the feelings it evokes. Share your answer. Perfect. These reflection exercises are incredibly valuable because they train your brain to think and express itself fluently in English. This is the key to developing true fluency, bridging the gap between your thoughts and your spoken English. Now let's practice agreeing and disagreeing, but with more nuanced responses. Imagine Jessica says, I think learning English is harder than learning Spanish. You could respond, I see your point, Jessica. English does have its share of irregular verbs and tricky spellings. However, Spanish presents its own difficulties, such as complex verb conjugations and subtle grammatical nuances. Ultimately, the relative difficulty depends heavily on an individual learner's prior language experience and learning style. Repeat after me. I see your point, Jessica. English presents challenges with irregular verbs and spelling, but Spanish has its own complexities in verb conjugations and grammar. Ultimately, difficulty depends on the learner's background. Next, let's address a different perspective. Suppose Daniel says, I don't think daily practice is necessary. Maybe once a week is enough. You might reply, I understand your perspective, Daniel, but I firmly believe that consistent daily practice, even if it's just for 15 minutes, keeps your brain actively engaged with the language. It keeps vocabulary fresh and helps build strong language habits. Think of it like exercise. Short, regular workouts are far more effective than sporadic, intense sessions. Let's practice that response together. Repeat after me. I understand your point, Daniel, but consistent daily practice, even short bursts, keeps the brain actively engaged. It maintains vocabulary and builds strong language habits. This type of polite discussion hones your skills for engaging in conversations where perspectives differ. Finally, let's do a fluency drill that combines everything we've covered: past, present, future tenses, opinions, and storytelling. I'll give you a word and you'll craft a detailed response. Word 1, family. Example: last weekend, my family and I spent a wonderful day at the beach. We built sandcastles, played frisbee, and enjoyed a delicious seafood lunch together. The shared laughter and joyful moments created lasting memories. Word 2, school. Example: in school, my favorite subject was art because it provided a creative outlet for self expression. I loved the challenge of translating my thoughts and feelings into tangible forms, learning to master different techniques and mediums. Word 3, dream. Example: my biggest dream is to write and publish a novel. I envision a story filled with rich characters and compelling plots, hoping to share my imagination with readers worldwide. It's a goal that fuels my creative energy and inspires me daily. These final drills highlight your progress, from simple sentences to detailed, nuanced responses, demonstrating a confident command of English. Remember, fluency is a journey, not a destination. Consistent, even small amounts of practice each day make a significant difference. So keep practicing, keep challenging yourself, and keep conversing. Thank you for dedicating this time to your English learning journey. Your commitment shows. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast for more lessons. Stay positive and cultivate a strong belief in your abilities. Remember those initial struggles? Think back to the first time you attempted to pronounce a tricky word or construct a complex sentence. You likely stumbled, maybe even felt frustrated. That's perfectly normal. Learning a language is a journey, not a sprint. Every little victory, understanding a new idiom, holding a conversation, even just remembering a new vocabulary word, is a step forward. Celebrate those small wins. They're crucial building blocks for your confidence. This positive self talk is immensely powerful. Instead of focusing on mistakes, we all make them, concentrate on your progress. Did you improve your pronunciation this week? Did you feel more comfortable speaking English in a certain context? Acknowledge these achievements. They reinforce your belief in your ability to learn and grow. This positive reinforcement is like a self fulfilling prophecy. Believing in your progress actually helps you make more progress. You are now well on your way to becoming a confident and fluent English speaker. This isn't just about memorizing vocabulary or mastering grammar rules. It's about building confidence and developing a genuine feel for the language. Imagine yourself confidently ordering food in a restaurant in English, engaging in a lively conversation with a native speaker, or even giving a presentation. These are all attainable goals. Keep practicing, keep challenging yourself, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself. Thank you again for joining me today. I'm Sophia, and I look forward to seeing you in our next lesson, where we'll delve into even more exciting aspects of the English language. Until then, keep practicing and keep that positive attitude shining.